Welcome back, everybody. We are talking about the lost art of piano tuning. I'm not sure I've ever hosted dialogue. Of course, I've had musicians on before, vocalists, keyboard players, even bands, but the art of piano tuning, I don't think has been a topic. Well, today we are talking with Tim Arbisi, the piano doctor who travels the world tuning pianos, and you know, we're going to talk about the lost art of piano tuning, but somebody we need to also give a shout out is Miss Kelli.
Yes.
Let's talk about Miss Kelli.
Miss Kelly is my business partner. She's been with me for about 4 years now. She's the driving force behind the business really taking hold the way that it is and really going national and then international. She's a lot more organized than I am, let's just say. But I've also been able to teach her about piano work itself. She watched me work for a long time and said she thought she could do some of this kind of work. Mm-hmm. So it's not the tuning part of it, but it's the technical part. Stuff breaks in pianos. You have 12,000 moving parts, and you have to know how to fix those things. Well, I've taught her how to do all those things. So a lot of times when we go out on these tours and we've got 5 churches we have to stop in, and we've got 4 of them that have broken pianos, I'm taking the middle of the piano out, the guts of the piano out, and giving them to her, and then she's fixing them while I'm off tuning the other pianos in the church.
So when you say, I know about the piano wire.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got your pedals.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the guts.
Okay,
like on a baby grand piano, you have the keys that you play. Well, I can go in and take that whole thing out. All the keys come out in one thing. It's called the piano action. And that's where the hammers are, because hammers have to hit strings to make sounds. All those things, that's where your 12,000 moving parts are. And all those parts are moving right next to each other. So if anything happens, all of a sudden you have a problem with this key, this key, this key, this key. And that's what she's fixing.
And so, and she's also your scheduler.
She's also the scheduler,
if you
yes.
want the piano doctor to come to your church or your home or your school or your auditorium or wherever, she will schedule. I want to get back to the lost art of piano tuning. Expand on that, if you will.
I've been a musician pretty much my whole life, a bass guitar player. I sing also and juggle, whatever is needed for the show. I just wasn't really much of a piano player, but the music and the art part of it really is what started to come through. When you tune a piano, you're making it sound different than it actually wants to do. A piano is trying to implode on itself with all the pressure from all the strings and the wood and everything else, and you're forcing it back into this is the most beautiful way this instrument is going to sound. You know, if you just let a piano sit for 50 years, they still make noise. It's just not a pretty noise. Now I'm going to make it get into a pretty way, so that when you sit down at it and you play it, it's the best it could possibly sound, because you can only be as good as your instrument.
And again, pianos should be tuned once a year.
Once a year. Played or not played, they should still be tuned once a year.
Okay.
You know, I say even if you got a Corvette in the garage, you still got to change the oil in it every now and again.
Okay. All right. And then because I'm envisioning when you're talking about piano stories, you know, all of us have the piano that we took piano lessons on when we were growing up, or the piano that was in your grandmother's house, and even the keys are a little brownish, you know, or yellowish.
Or you took lessons from that lady that was so mean, and she
hit you with the ruler. Oh my gosh,
I swear
flashbacks.
they cloned that woman, I swear to God.
Oh yes. But we do have some fine pianists in the world.
Yes.
Again, if you were not with us during this last segment, he has tuned pianos for the likes of Bob Dylan, Chuck Leavell of the Rolling Stones, Wynton Marsalis, and internationally now. So when the internationals call you back, you are ready to. Miss Kelli is going to make that happen, right? And again, it takes about, well, you said about 45 minutes?
About 45 minutes. And then if your piano hasn't been tuned in 10, 12, 160 years, whatever it is, it's going to take a little bit longer, but not a whole lot more. Usually appointments only go about an hour and a half, and anything that's wrong with it can be fixed, all the way down to I play it every day, everything plays fine on it, it sounds great, but the actual tone of it just not as pleasing. And that's something that we can go into and fix that and make it to where, again, when I get done with it, it's like it's a brand new piano. I do that a lot for churches.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there listening this morning, and they're like, okay, so how much does it cost? Can you give us a range?
Oh, yeah.
From the 45 minutes to possibly the hour and a half.
Yeah, so we don't charge by how long it takes us to do something. Every piano, I've told people for years, every piano costs a little bit different because I have to give a ballpark on it because there's such a range in different pianos, but every one of them falls between $150 and $250.
Okay, well, let me give you our information, pianodoctorusa.com or 706-833-4164. Thank you so much for the piano tuning lesson.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And have a wonderful Sunday, everybody.